Hello everyone, welcome to Current Affairs with Jyotsna Sharma, my exclusive show that focuses on current affairs and events that are relevant to you. Today I am back again with another interesting or rather inquisitive or a concerning topic. This is about the recent Khalistani attacks. The Khalistani members attacked the Indian Consulate in San Francisco in California in United States of America. The incident happened on March 19th, that was a Sunday, and definitely this incident has enraged the Indian community altogether, not just in US but worldwide. Why are these attacks happening? This is the third attack in line right now if we relate it to the recent attacks by the Khalistani separatists in London on the Indian Consulate, and then in Vancouver, Canada, again this attack happened by these Khalistani supporters. Why is this happening now? Even in Punjab in India, the separatist movements by the Khalistani have gained momentum, and there has to be a reason behind. And of course, there is a public rage or say anger against it. Today, I am going to discuss in detail about this event with my two esteemed guests tonight in this, virtually who have joined us. First and foremost, I would like to introduce you to Mr. Sukhi Chahal. He is the founder and CEO and editor-in-chief of the Khalsa Today, Silicon Valley, USA. Sukhi ji, very warm welcome to you.
Namaskar, Sat Sri Akal.
And my second guest is Purnima Nath. And Purnima Nath is an author and a non-profit founder. She is the creator of popular ethnic festival in Wisconsin, writes on local and global issues encompassing geopolitics, religion, national security, and foreign affairs. And she did contested for a seat in Milwaukee County, Wisconsin, for the secretary. And she's also a secretary of Republican Party there in Milwaukee County. And she is also very active when it comes to the Indian politics and is a political analyst by nature. Very warm welcome to you, Purnima Nath ji.
Thank you so much, Jyotsna ji.
Thank you for joining us tonight, and we are really concerned about the situation developing as in why are these attacks by the Khalistani separatists happening on Indian consulates ranging from London to Canada to US now, and are we eyeing on more attacks? It was San Francisco, can this happen in New York or somewhere else is a question. Mr. Sukhi Chahal, I'll give it to you first to understand what is the framework of this entire thing that is happening. You belong to Sikh community, and my first question in fact is, people mistake or mistook the Sikh community in general, that it is the entire Sikh community aligned somewhere on those lines of asking for Khalistan or say a separate state or a country for themselves. But you belong to a Sikh community which I have known for years, and I have known you for years now. You're a good friend. And I have seen a lot of nationalism, a spirit of nationalism in you. I've never heard anything about Khalistan from you. I need a little clarity from you for my general audience. How are general Sikh community different from the Khalistani separatists?
Jyotsna ji, namaskar, Sat Sri Akal again, sabhi ko. The reason, it's a very good question, because many people, those who don't understand actually, so they see some of the Sikh people, those who have the turban and the beard, and so they are protesting in front of the embassy or the consulate, right, on the various places. Unfortunately, it is it is very wrong narrative. Even I have seen myself being built up in the media too. I'm doing my best, even make a correction in that one, because one thing we have to understand actually. So if you have a turban, you have a beard, that does not make you Sikh. To be a Sikh actually, so first of all, you have to be a human being first. If you are not a good human being actually, so you are not a Sikh. And also, to be a Sikh actually, so you don't even have to have everything actually. So you until you are baptized actually, so then you can see, okay, all right, so these are the Sikhs. Many people, you go to Iran and Afghanistan actually, so they are also having their turbans too actually, so their beard actually does not make them the Sikhs. So that's why whenever we see some of these people, at least some of the people, majority of the people from the Sikh community, I'm not the only nationalist. Majority of the people, they love India, actually. So they are very faithful to India. They are nationalists. They are hard worker, and they are very courageous people, actually. So you have a relationship with the Sikh community,
Absolutely.
and I have a very good relationship with the Hindu Sikh community, and so we are the inseparable. We have an inseparable relationship between the Hindu and Sikh community. But unfortunately, there are some bad actors in every community, actually, in every community. I'm saying not only Sikh
Very
community.
true.
And these people, when they are being played by some external forces, and they also have their own dukandari. And eventually they are hurting the Sikh community rather than they are hurting anybody else. Let's make it very clear. Their activity, their nonsense, their activity, their vandalism in front of any consulate or embassy, it is an embarrassment to the Sikh community more than anything else. This is what they are. They are the bunch of the people. They are like so many for almost 20, 30 years, actually, I'm seeing, actually. So the same people, they are doing this kind of activity because this is their dukandari, and they will continue to do this one. And this is very, very unfortunate. But the incident which you just mentioned it over there in the San Francisco, it's not only one incident. There's two incidents happen on that day. On March 19th, 4 o'clock, two people tried to burn the consulate building over there.
4 a.m. you are saying?
4 a.m.
Okay.
4 a.m. 19th. Actually, it is in the CCTV footage, and a report has been lodged actually with the San Francisco PD, and FBI is working, and State Department is aware of that incident. And this has not come out actually, so in the media yet. Actually, I'm just telling you on your platform.
No, you are very correct. You know, honestly, the media, the major media coverage hasn't happened. Most of the news items that were, extracted were through the social media platform. And that's very, concerning. Why was the main light not thrown on this kind of news? Of course, we are ourselves from a news, TV channel, but then the major news outlets have not covered it. Somewhere there is a loophole somewhere. Why is it being, not covered on that level where it should have been given that impetus?
Definitely,
Anyways,
definitely. This is a missing piece actually, because this is not only happening in San Francisco. Even on San Francisco on 19th in the afternoon, and they break the glasses over there. They try to break the windows, and they try to open break the door, and so there was a vandalism. And it typically, unfortunately, that also happened on the premises of the consulate. It was not actually, because anybody have a permission. If you have a permission, there's a freedom of speech. You can, if you don't agree with somebody actually, so then you can do the protest outside actually.
Right.
But if going to some property, which is the Indian government property, that's a diplomatic property, that is a very big crime. And I am very sure that people are going to pay the price for that, pay them the price for that. But some of these people, they even don't know. Some of the youngsters actually, those who are coming from India in these days, they have no idea actually so how they are being played by these people.
No, that's concerning, because yes, a mob comes in, and of course they are accounted for. There are CCTV footages available now. They will be nabbed, of course. The point is, there were young people seen, doing that vandalism, and of course the law will take their own due course of action. The concern is how they've been manipulated. One that you're saying is very concerning.
Because not only that incident happened only on San Francisco on that day, like the incident happened in London actually. So in the embassy, the Indian flag was taken out.
Right.
Palestine flag was put over there actually. Okay, so even now the same thing happened in Canada actually, right? Like in the Vancouver actually. So the High Commissioner actually, so who when he was visiting in Vancouver, and he was not let even attend one of the dinner party over there. There was more than 200 people protesters came over there, and they were very violent. And they were very violent. They hurt somebody, and some people that are already in the hospital. The thing is, now what you have to understand, did any Canadian authority try to take any action against all these violent elements? And did anybody from the Canadian side, or did anybody from the UK government side, at least, so did they try to take it seriously? No, they have not taken it seriously. They are not taking it seriously. And I seemed like actually they are not going to take it very seriously in the long run, which is a very big concern. Because
Absolutely.
if somebody is trying to violate any
Right.
local laws, actually, so
So,
there's no
Sukhi ji,
action
I
to
have
take.
more line of questions. I'll definitely come back to you
Ji.
concerning, of course, the attacks and the countries as you speak about London and, of course, in UK and Canada.
Ji.
Let's hear it from Purnima Nath also. Of course, Purnima, from your perspective as an Indian American here, as a Bharatvasi and your love for nation, how do you feel when an Indian consulate is, vandalized like this? What is your mental state in terms of your security, the perspective of Indians in America or in UK or Canada, whatever? What is this indicative of for you in general?
First of all, I want to start it with from a perspective of a parallel. Imagine U.S. Embassy in India or U.S. Embassy in UK being attacked by somebody. Do you think United States of America is going to just take it lightly?
Not at all.
Oh, of course, right? So I'll give you some ideas about what happened since this incident happened. Two-person from United States National Security Council spokesperson, as well as National Security Advisor of White House. One is John Kirby, one is Jake Sullivan. Both of them had posted condemnation. So what is it about me? What do the local authorities did when this kind of things happened? And it's not out of the blue that happened. For the past few months, Indian Hindu temples have been vandalized and desecrated, and walls are being colored with graffiti in Australia. Recently, Australian PM has been told about this particular issue by Narendra Modi. Now, if we look at UK, just the other day, Leicester event happened. Hindus, when they are not attacking against anybody, they are being portrayed as the extremist. Now you coming over to United States of America in San Francisco, the hub of literally all Indian community. So my question is, in general, as a Hindu, do I feel comfortable here? No, I don't. What is more concerning about over here is that I have not
Purnima ji,
seen
sorry to interrupt here. It's not, when we speak about an attack on the Indian consulate, it's not just about being Hindus, of course, it's the entire community. It's Hindus, Muslims, Christians, everybody
Yes,
here, right?
but there
When we
is
speak about.
there is an interrelation in terms of what's happening here. If you look at what's going on, they're saying Modi is a Hitler. If you look at the graffiti, you would have seen they have said Modi is a Hitler. Hindustan Murdabad and Khalistan Zindabad. Those were the words. And if you look at what's happening in Amritpal Singh's case, he was a Pakistani ISI recruit from Dubai, trained in Georgia, then transported to India. And in India, he just landed literally in October 2022, just a few months back. And by March, mid-March, he's absconding. What has he done over there? Since he has been there, what is the Punjab Day? He was running a drug center and under the garb of creating a private militia over there. And then what was he doing? After he landed over there, literally drones were dropping drugs and weapons. And in his drug de-addiction centers, they found weapons out in the open. So he was pushing the youth to the gun culture.
Right.
He was pushing the
So,
youth. Yeah.
the question arises, I understand, see, of course, there has to be some hand behind it, some kind of negative support that they're getting, of course, from the negative people, of course, that's the question. Who are we, suspecting here, as in, basically, it's, I mean, you are, of course, citing the example of India right now, Punjab, and we are talking about at the international level when this kind of attack is happening, some kind of profiling of Indian community is happening one way. From that perspective,
the connection between here, that's what I was going to go there. So you see the missionary activity that is happening in Punjab today. Most conversions happening is in Punjab. Sadly speaking, they are wearing pagri, they are wearing kada, they are wearing all identification from outside. You can at least say that they're Sikhs, but they're not Sikhs at the end of the day. And then if you look at from an ISI perspective, Islamist perspective, that connection is there. Now coming back to Hindus, the attacks on Hindus in America. You just saw what happened in the caste situation in Seattle just a few weeks ago.
Purnima
Where
ji, you have a whole plethora of different topics to discuss. I
no,
think let's simplify it for our
actually,
audience right now. Let's focus on the attack right now and speak from that angle.
I'd like to bring the connection. If you
All
look
right.
at in caste,
Right.
you have seen the major Sikh-looking communities over there, Christian missionary over there, and the Islamist communist over there. So I want you to see the connection between what's happening against the Hindus, whether we're in America or UK or Australia or Canada, doesn't matter. It is again India. It is against India. It is against Hindustan. They don't want to they want to literally say that Hindus are parasites. That's exactly the bhashan from Amrit Pal Singh too. Hindus are parasite. They don't even have
Okay.
rights to have
So
lands.
this is getting serious here. Let's take it to Sukhi Chahal, Sukhi ji. Purnima Nath, sitting next to you, is speaking about this, and of course the general sentiment is being of course erupted here. I mean, the peace has been broken in a way when, of course, if Amrit Pal Singh speaks such statements in India is concerning, and you are a Sikh, and as I say, a perfect patriot, nationalist. I want to, mitigate this situation. And of course, I started off with that question only, that you being a Sikh yourself, of course, the difference has to be mentioned here. To Purnima Nath's concerns, what is being interlinked? What is your say?
What I can say, actually, because since I was born during that time, and I have seen the black days of terrorism in Punjab myself, and not only myself, actually, the people, those who are in the power and the police had seen all the old days, actually, so which are nightmares, actually. So when we think about it, and Punjab was #1 state in whole India, and now you can see, actually, so where we are standing. And so because of that, actually, so we know what happened, why it happened, actually, so we know the people of Punjab will not let this kind of situation happen or repeat again. So that's why whatever is happening in the Punjab, and I'm not that much concerned because there is an elected government and there is a police, it's the same police who was able to control the terrorism in past, and so things happen sometime. And so I'm very sure, actually, I'm very confident, and sometimes things go wrong, but it will be taken care there. And that is the issue going on in Punjab. But I'm more worried about the radicalization happening inside, especially in the North America and
Right.
abroad. Not only in North America, also you can see in the Europe, and also you can see what is happening in the Australia too. Everywhere. So that is a growing radicalization happening in the youth. That is a very big concern to us. And the kind of these people, the kind of poison and the kind of hate they are spreading, especially between the two peace-loving community, Hindu community and the Sikh community, and the kind of, as I said earlier, inseparable bond, they are trying to break it. And so who is behind that, actually? So obviously, all the fingers, actually, so being pointed on the outside actors. It's not only these bunch of these Khalistani. No, they are being used. There is a bigger forces behind that, actually. It is not only the Pakistan.
Right.
And Pakistan used to be one of them, and now there's many Pakistan, there's a China behind that, there's a Pakistan behind that, and there's many other interesting actors are behind that, actually. So that's why it is a lot bigger picture than we can see it right now.
That is really, concerning fact that when multiple factors or multiple people from different countries are trying to sabotage Indian image at this level, or say cause that kind of harm to the cohesiveness of the Indian community in general, Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs together, they're trying to create a fraction there, and fraction them, I mean to say, is concerning. And from the perspective of the, approaching to the lawmakers, here in North America, when we speak about these attacks, of course, you said that some apology, some kind of condoning came, of course, from the authorities, but that's not just sufficient. Purnima, I'll go to you here. As a general citizen of America and an NRI, an Indian PIO holder or say OCI, what would be your take to reach out to the government agencies and complain about this so that these things don't happen? In general, I'm asking you this because this is a concerning fact for every Indian who's here in America right now.
That's a good question. The first thing is that Hindu voice nobody hears. At least Sikhs have a community, the Gurudwara, they have a system, the entire community in terms of the political system they hear. But for us, as a Hindu, I find not a single senator, not a single congressperson hearing our issue, our side of the issue. Now, when you talk about the division between Hindus and Sikh, that never existed 500 years ago or 400 years ago. 100 years ago, they started taking down on Devi's stuff from the Gurdwaras. And things have changed because what happened during that time? The British started taking into consideration in terms of how to break this Hindu and Sikh unity. And when they were not wearing turbans and or etc., that the 5K that came across, they started pushing this agenda to divide the Sikh community from the Hindu community. And that's how this Khalistan agenda started. And they want a separate nation. And if you look at the Khalistan agenda, it's only in the Indian portion of it. There is no Punjab involved in the Pakistan part of it. So you can see the hypocrisy right away. Now, from a politics perspective, I'll tell you, there's 2 or 3 people that I have seen from the United States that given some lip services also. What about the Indian American? There seem to be 130 Indian Americans employed by Biden administration. Did any person have said one word, even so-called Chitti of Tamil Brahmin, Kamala Harris? Did she say a word? Did the Surgeon General, Mr. Vivek Murthy, he said a word? Anybody, any one single person? What about the hundreds of CEOs, Indian American CEOs? Does every Indian American feel proud of and tells, oh, we Indian Americans are CEOs? Did they say a word? What about the person, Pravasi Bharat Samman Award winners? Did they say a word? So talking about hypocrisy, it's right in front of us. And even if I say my senators, one of the senators is a Republican and a Democrat. Democrat is not going to hear us. The Republican senator, Senator Ron Johnson, would he hear us? I hope
All
he
right.
hears us.
So I understand you're siding the parties here right now, of course, from Republican and Democrat perspective. But of course, we are Indians here. Whether it's Democrats or Republicans, we need support from everyone. We have a distinct identity. We need security for ourselves.
We can get support from somebody. At this point of time, nobody is supporting us.
All right. So, Kiji, how is your approach to this?
No,
Of
no,
course,
no.
you have.
I have a. This is a very interesting topic. Actually, Purnima ji brought it up. Actually, especially the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas was there. Actually, so there was a winner. Actually, so obviously Sikh gentleman and from Chicago. Actually, so he was awarded this and that. Right, one of the biggest award. That is where the issue is. That's underlining actually, because she raised a very good point. The problem is not in the Sikh community or the Hindu community. There is a more problems lies with the Indian government actually. So I'm being very blunt on their side. Narendra Modi has done so much for the Sikh community, and he the first prime minister. He going way beyond his limit to please the Sikh community. And he is doing the fantastic job. What happened in Afghanistan, Guru Granth Sahib actually. So all the events actually he had done for the Sikh community, fantastic. The problem is because bureaucracy. His message is not getting implemented. His message is not being spread. His message is not going to the Sikh community, average Sikh community, average mainstream Sikh community's home. That message needs to be spread. The message has to be delivered. And who's going to do that? Actually, it has to. There is some authority. There is responsible people sitting over there. If they are not going to do it, whatever the Narendra Modi is going to do for the Sikhs is being diluted. At least being forgotten every day. Number 2 question, Purnima ji raised about the Pravasi Bharati. Like that, actually, so there is, I think 200-300 times, 2 or 3 times, there is a delegation from America and Canada and also in the Middle East, actually, so went and had a lunch and had an event in the Narendra Modi's Prime Minister's residence. There's more than 200 people over there, actually. Tell me even one person is raising any issue, whatever is happening right now in front of the embassy or in the consulate, whatever these radicals are doing actually. So why they are so quiet? And if they did not have any guts actually, so why they are being entertained over there as a bigger, like the guest over there? Why they deserve to have that bigger award if they cannot deliver anything? This is where the problem is, because if you are not going to identify, if you're not going to choose the right people for the right kind of activity, this is going to be ongoing issue.
But then the concern is, it affects us, the general public, the general Indians in America, or say worldwide, wherever we are, the NRIs, right?
Definitely.
It
No,
does,
definitely. I think
it does
definitely.
stings us bad because it tarnishes our image somewhere, that people who don't know who we are exactly, or our distinct religious boundaries that we share, and still we are cohesive.
And
They would
also,
think that we are belittled somewhere through these acts. They would say Indians are attacking Indian people only. Amongst themselves, they're fighting. So this creates a negative impact altogether about the people, Indian people in general.
Also, let me finish that one, please. And this, so
Right.
it is like they're just saying, actually, it is not the activity of the rascal, but inactivity of the good people, which can destroy the society. This is exactly happening. This is exactly happening in the diaspora, because nobody from the Hindu community, or many, I'm not saying nobody, majority of the people from the Hindu community, or the majority of the people from the Sikh community are not willing to say anything on record. And they are being very quiet. Their quietness is definitely hurting the society, and it is going to hurt the society in the long run.
Very sad to know this. Now, very sad to hear that statement from you. Now, my question or a concern would be, if it is the Indian people in general, you are kind of community leaders there, sitting in a position. Purnima ji, you did contest for an assembly election as well. If you were to reach out to the right authorities or create a campaign or something, what would be the plan of action? How would you want to involve the local masses together then? Because something has to be done, right? What would be your message?
I have tried doing a protest over here when Bengal post-poll violence happened against the Hindus. They literally taking Boria Bistar and getting out of there and going to the nearest state. And nobody knew about what was going on. Even over here, Bengalis were not. They were telling it is not happening. So the situation over here, the media has literally have brainwashed them to a point that they don't know how to ask questions. You were talking about bringing in people. Who's going to listen? Even if I go stand somewhere with one placard, how many will show up? Maybe 10 or 20? Even if I send an email to Senator Johnson, can I guarantee you he's going to listen to me? Even if I send an email to Glenn Grothman, our congressman, are they going to listen to us? Even if I send some 10 letters to, Gurudwara.
Purnima ji, I would interrupt you here. How about if the Indian people in general reach out to their local representatives, congressmen, senators, call their offices and raise their concern and book their complaint? That works.
Definitely, that can be done.
You don't have to be on the road for that. You don't have to be really standing in a protest. There is still a protest that can be registered through a mass action then.
Well, anywhere in the world, wherever Hindus are getting targeted, I'm not talking about the embassy building. I'm talking about anywhere Hindus are getting attacked. Have you ever seen Hindus are going out in the streets and vandalizing anywhere or anything, or bombing any buildings or so? No, right? So how come we are the one who's getting trashed and maligned?
But then the problem is you are not looking at any solution right now, and that's a concern.
No.
So what would be your message to the governments? Or to the people?
I have asked Donald Trump. Yes, I'll tell you. Yesterday, I was in a meeting and there was one of the chief of staff of Mr. Donald Trump. I asked him, would he put a statement out? He said, I don't know whether he's going to do it or not, maybe different way. Nothing came out. I've asked for his statement. No statement came out. Do you think an U.S. embassy getting attacked somewhere in the world, U.S. is going to just take it lightly like that? 2 or 3 statements that came official. There is nothing, no plan, no single arrest in the United States. You want to tell me there is not something going on that I don't know?
I get it. Thank you for these inputs, Purnima ji, and for your reaction here. Sukhi, Chahal, what would be your take? What is it that you want to convey to the masses in general through the platform? Of course, you are sitting on the media now, of course, when we are speaking. And of course, there is a message that can go out loud. If that be the case of reaching out to the officials or the government authorities or even people in India, the Indian government or bureaucrats, to seek their support there and address the situation?
First of all, we have to be very, very careful when we can try to convey any message, actually, so we don't have to be too emotional. And we have to get together. First of all, we even as a Sikh community, Hindu community, and so whatever the good relationship we have to represent them, and we have to reach out to each other. And then we have to reach out to our own elected member. It's everybody's responsibility to reach out to their own elected members and tell them what's going on. If we are not going to say anything, if we're not going to speak out in the media, nobody is going to speak on our behalf. And this is the problem, because these people, these radical people, and some people, they misunderstand them actually. So as a Sikh, actually, so no, they are not even that 1% of the Sikh community, 99% moderate, mainstream Sikh community, very hardworking community. They had lots of contribution to the society and also to the country over here. But we have to reach out as a collective. We have to do the collective effort, and otherwise nobody else is going to do it. And also we have to keep in mind, these radicals, they are very well funded, and they have a muscle power, and they have a commitment, and they have a resources, and they do have a ready-made some platform to speak out, to convey their message. So that's why they are able to gather maybe 200-300 people immediately within 1 hour. And wherever, if you ask anybody, we cannot even ask the 3 people to come together, actually, one platform. That is a missing piece, actually. So we have to work hard on that one, actually, before we even blame or ask somebody else. We have to put our own house together.
Thank you so much for the beautiful message indeed. And of course, to the audience, why I brought this topic up, of course, the attack that happened is not to just sensationalize it, The thing is to wake up. If you see something, say something, they say it, right? So you're seeing something wrong, and this wrong can further damage you somewhere. This, if not stopped now, nip the evil in the bud, as they say, can be a problem or a nightmare for the Indians in general. In America, if I speak about here, of course, that the attacks have started. You never know which consulate is next in action or the target of these kind of Khalistani or separatist attacks. And somewhere on the grounds of religious separatism, Hindus and Muslims and Sikhs, they are trying to divide the Indians in general. India is an emerging superpower, one of the largest economies of the world, among the top largest economies in the world. We are growing as Indians, and somebody is trying to sabotage that image. My message would be simple: stay united. If you see something wrong for one community, stand together with them. Don't deject, saying they are different, we are different. No. If you come together as Indians, you will be able to beat this properly. Sukhi ji, thank you so much. Purnima, Nath, thank you so much for your inputs in this special session today. And final remarks I'll take from you, one-liner. If that was a one message, give it to the people, and I'll close the show.
Purnima ji, go ahead, please.
Sure. I really want the Hindus to understand what's going on, the division that has been getting created based on Hindu and Sikh community. And there are other entities also, the division between Buddhist and Neo-Buddhist with the Hindu community, that has started as well. I'd like you to know what's going on. Look at the geopolitical issues. India definitely is rising. Nobody can stop India from to basically become the very, very critical power in the Asian continent. But here, as a micro minority in America or UK or Australia, if we don't say and keep running, I don't know how long we can keep running like that. And this is the time for us to raise our voice, and we'll do anything possible in terms of sending this message to our local authorities and politicians and educate them. Perhaps most of the people don't even know.
Thank you.
So hopefully you will join us for that effort.
Thank you so much, Purnima ji. Sukhi ji.
Jihan, thank you very much. And so I think my message is going to be very straightforward, actually. So this is whatever the violence, whatever the activity of these so-called Khalistani has nothing to do with the Sikh community. And we have to separate it out. We have to divide it. We have to understand. We have to educate each other, because they don't represent the Sikh community. And the mainstream Sikh community is very peace loving, very hardworking, and we believe in the peace and harmony. And we have a respect for each other. We are respecting and we are expecting. And that's my message. And these people, what we have to keep in mind, if we are not going to stay together, if we are not going to step up, actually, so these people, this is their dukandari, this is their business, they will continue going to do it again and again, because they have been doing it in past, and they will continue doing in the future, which is very sad, very bad for our future generation, because they are trying to create a poison, they are trying to create a hate even among the Hindu and Sikh community, which is very unfortunate. We have to educate each other. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sukhi ji. Yes, to all our audience, the rest is up to you to decide, take the action or not. I'll close the show tonight. We'll come back with another topic. Until then, stay blessed, stay happy, and stay safe. Thank you so much.